Welcome to the channel, I'm Spiral, and today I have a little bit of a different video. I wanted to do my 3-month review on the Steam Deck. It's been a great device, great purchase, and yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so first off, I kind of want to talk about who would appreciate this type of device. I wouldn't use this type of device if you just kind of want like a PC pretty much, and you just don't want to pay full price for one. Because this is a cheap PC pretty much, but it's probably a lot more underpowered than you think. A lot of people don't mention if you're somebody who cares a lot about FPS, you're not gonna want the Steam Deck, especially if you play a lot of AAA games. Steam Deck is pretty good for indie titles or just small AAA games, smaller AAA. But if you're planning on playing anything new like Spider-Man or Halo Infinite, anything like that, this is not really what you want. Those games have a horrible time running 60 frames, sometimes even 50, unless you want to be playing at potato graphics. So anything on medium preset, you're probably only about gonna get 30 frames out of it. We will have a gameplay segment soon. Based on that, if you just want something to have a sub as a PC pretty much because you don't have the money for one, that's a big consideration. It's not that powerful. Sandbox game like Brick Rigs, for example, you can have 60 frames until you spawn stuff in pretty much. Once you spawn in a few things, you're gonna dip down to like 20 frames. If it's a lot of pieces. Games that I have had a very good experience with though is Gmod, but you can run that on anything pretty much. Minecraft, which is a non-Steam game, which I'll get into in a minute. Halo, oh my gosh, Master Chief Collection it runs like a dream, and they actually have anti-cheat support for that. Now, games that I've had a harder time running would be Spider-Man, games like Sea of Thieves. If you want a really nice, detailed game like those, you're gonna be playing at 30 frames to 40 frames. So, that's a big consideration. I would not buy this as just a PC. Second thing I want to talk about is storage. Storage is a very big problem with the Steam Deck, I think. It's great for its price, the hardware, but the storage is, even if you buy the most expensive Steam Deck, it's not a lot of storage. 500 something gigs, I think it's like 520 or something like that, for a $600 device is not great. And to get a decent sized SD card, like a terabyte, is at least $100. Next, I did want to get into some gameplay in a minute and talk about non-Steam games. So yeah, let's get into that. Alright, here we are on my Steam Deck, and I want to get into the hardware side of it. So, games, for example, like Master Chief Collection will run very well. Alright, here we are in Halo 3, and as you can see, we are locked at 60, except for that part of that cutscene. It runs very well. Sorry, I'm gonna have a hard time playing like this. See, it's solid 60, and there is a lot going on. There's a lot of enemies. There's a lot of firing, a lot of particles. A lot of everything in the game is still just locked at 60. So this is a AAA game, but it is from the 360 era. Anything from the 360 era won't have a hard time running at all. I'll just let you watch for a minute. So yeah, as you can see, it's running completely fine. The game has no issues running on this, and you know, Halo 3 does have pretty decent graphics, I'd say. The game has held 60 the whole time. That was a pretty big firefight right there, and the game didn't really drop below 60. The downside I want to talk about is some games require anti-cheat, and the Steam Deck doesn't have a very big variety with what is supported by anti-cheat, because the devs themselves have to basically verify the Steam Deck for anti-cheat. So games like PUBG will not run. But Halo has an exception. You can play online because the devs have allowed it. So yeah, if you're into competitive shooters and that's all you really want to use the Steam Deck for, I don't think I would really recommend the Steam Deck because there's not too many you can really play. The only ones I've seen so far is Apex and Halo. You might be able to get away with a couple older Call of Duties that don't have live service anymore, or server support. But anything new like Cold War, Modern Warfare 2, you're not gonna be able to play it online, at least. Now here's non-Steam games. Non-Steam games was one of the main selling points for me, is emulation. I'm not gonna show too much emulation because someone likes to take down videos. .exe files, even though this is Linux, some will work. Like this is .exe file I got off GameJolt. What the trick is though, you just add it to Steam in desktop mode, and then you change the Proton to Proton Experimental, and it should open. Here's FNAF World, not on Steam at all, and it's running completely fine at 60 frames on my Steam Deck, and it is a .exe file. This brings me into my next subject. When I open this, absolutely no controls worked. I could not get any controls to work. Just like out of the box. So that's the next thing I want to talk about, is the controller mapping is amazing. This is such a great thing about the Steam Deck, is even if something doesn't have controller support, you can edit the layout to have controller support. What I've done for this game, since this is a mouse and keyboard game only, I have gone to the joystick and given it the functionality of a directional pad, and I mapped the directions to WSAD. And then the Steam Deck has really nice trackpads that you can use, one for scrolling or one for moving your mouse. That's what I've done with this trackpad. This is to move your mouse, and I just mapped the right trigger to click, or left click. And yeah, it runs great. I'm having a really good experience with this game, not having full controller support at all. It feels great. As you can see, I can get it into view. The joystick is working just fine, and it's running 60 frames perfectly fine. As you can see, everything's running completely fine. There's nothing broken with the textures being a .exe file. It's running completely smoothly. All this, mouse works, everything works, and it's great. Alright, here I am in a more intensive game, BeamNG Drive. As you can see, I'm at 30 frames right now, well, because everything's loading in. And it's kind of stuck there for a minute. As I get going, I'm at 60. And yeah, 60 is good. And this is a pretty intensive game. BeamNG Drive does actually run pretty good on here. But when you spawn things in, it has a really hard time loading it right away. Or if you use like a mod like this Lego brick car mod, that is pretty intensive, and it will have some frame drops. I did want to show off this. I know I said it's not great for like super intense games, but it actually can run some pretty decently intense games well. Like, this is a very playable state to play this game. It looks like I need to fix my resolution. Anyways, if you see there, I went all the way down to 30 frames when I crashed. To be fair, that is a lot of destruction in pieces that I just put on it. I'm at 40 frames right now though, as you can see, 45. So it's not gonna hold 60. Honestly, I do recommend did you see that? I went in my 20s. I do recommend putting the screen to 40 Hertz for a game like this, just so it's more stable. Which brings me into my next topic. The Steam Deck has such a good customization to tweak games. You've probably heard it so much, but you literally can adjust everything. It's great. I did want to show you guys a intensive game to kind of show you how it doesn't hold up very well. I don't really have one installed right now, so just take my word for it. Maybe watch another video or two before you decide purchasing. And yeah, guys, that's been my 3-month review on the Steam Deck. I think it's a great device. I really love it, but I don't think it's the greatest for super intense games. Well, with that, have a wonderful rest of your day, guys, and peace.